summer safety tips. Joining us with more is Dr. Megan Marens with the Pediatric Emergency Department at Oshner Medical Center Jefferson Highway. Thanks for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
So starting out, just tell us about some common summer illnesses and injuries that kids may be prone to.
So in the summer, kids are spending more time outdoors, so we see our fair share of sprains, strains, broken bones, that sort of thing. And we also see quite a bit of water-related injuries because everyone's swimming, and lots of sports-related injuries as well.
And then specifically concussions, right? I mean, that's a big red flag.
There's a lot of, football is the major sport where we see a lot of concussions. Absolutely, yeah.
Tell us about, maybe we can talk about preventative issues and then move on from there.
Sure, in terms of preventing concussions.
Sure.
So, I mean, obviously, safety, if you're playing any kind of contact sport, you should be wearing the proper safety equipment. But really, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends minimizing, in kids, minimizing tackling or any kind of, high impact as much as possible.
I mean, they're not fully developed yet, right? So
right.
That's part of the issue.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, concussions do happen with these contact sports, mainly.
Yeah.
So tell us, what's the next step from there?
The most important thing, if you think your child has a concussion, is to not return to play until they're seen by a doctor. So symptoms of concussion can be vague and many. So headache, confusion, vomiting, dizziness, mood changes. They can be very subtle. So if your child has had a head injury and you think they may be exhibiting any signs of concussion, the most important thing is to seek medical care before returning to play.
Sure. Okay. And then, I mean, even if your child is hit really hard on the field and is kind of patting their head, I mean, shouldn't you? Isn't it better to just kind of go and seek medical attention versus not?
Absolutely.
I think for a head injury, right?
Always safe to seek medical care if they've been hurt. Yeah.
Okay. And then, obviously, part of the diagnosis issues we just kind of went over, like if they're experiencing these different symptoms. But what else will the doctor recommend?
So, I mean, the main treatment for concussion is rest, and again, not returning to play until you've been cleared by a doctor.
Okay. And then what are some other summer safety tips?
Well, with this kind of heat, we always tell parents to try to keep kids indoors as much as possible during the hottest parts of the day. So get your outdoor activities in the morning and in the late afternoon, and try not to expose kids to the heat during those kind of noon hours when it's hottest, because they are more prone to heat-related illness. Hydrate. Make sure, even if you don't think they're spending that much time outside, make sure you and your kids are drinking probably more water than you usually do.
Okay, and then talk about, I mean, it's summer, kids are going to be running around the pool, and adults will be out there as well, I'm sure.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about pool safety.
Right, so really important, if you have a pool at home, important to establish family pool rules early on. No going near the pool or in the pool without mommy and daddy. Always have a swim buddy, but the most important thing in any kind of swimming situation is to have a sober, not distracted adult within arm's reach of kids who are swimming at any time. Infants and toddlers can drown in, even an inch of water, so you just have to really remain vigilant when they're swimming.
Definitely, and this goes for pools, both private and public pools.
Absolutely.
Even if there are lifeguards, right? I mean,
absolutely, it just takes looking away for a minute. So.
Sure, and especially at the beach. Any specific beach tips?
It's really the same thing that applies to pools. Don't be within farther than arm's reach from your child when they're near a body of water.
Okay, and then talk about heat-related illness. Some tips other than drinking water.
Right. So loose, light-colored clothing. Again, staying indoors during the hottest parts of the day, getting your outdoor activities on earlier in the morning and later in the afternoon. Do not leave kids in cars, even if you have to pop in and do an errand somewhere. They can overheat quite quickly.
Right. Okay. And I mean, we've seen those stories that have been done with the thermometers and the car windshield. I mean, the car really does heat up a lot faster than we think.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Sure, and especially for infants and toddlers.
Right. They're smaller. They're just at higher risk. The very young and the very old are at higher risk for heat-related illness. So you have to be more careful.
Okay. And cracking the windows, that does very little, right?
Right.
Okay. Any other tips you can give us?
So sunscreen is also important. And certainly if your child is exhibiting any signs of heat-related illness, dizziness, vomiting, red flushed skin, fever, fast heart rate after having been outside, be sure to seek medical care.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add today? Does that about cover it?
I think that pretty much covers
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, to learn more,